On the news, appeal court affirms Oyediri's election as Bayelsa governor. Federal government announces reopening of all unity schools across the country. And U.S. President wife tests positive for coronavirus. Many thanks for joining us on News Now at this time. The Court of Appeal has upheld the election of Oyediri as the governor of Bayelsa State. The Bayelsa State Gubernatorial Petition Tribunal had sacked Diri in August over a petition by the Advanced Nigeria Democratic Party, ANDP, that it was unlawfully excluded from participating in the poll. The tribunal then ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to conduct a fresh election within 90 days. But in its ruling on Friday, the appellate court held that the tribunal acted out of its jurisdiction in nullifying the election. It added that the ANDP did not prove valid nomination of its candidate to contend on lawful exclusion. And the candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC in the September 19 governorship election in Edo State, Osage Izeyamo, says he and his party are at liberty to pursue any legal option they deem fit to contest the outcome of the election, which gave victory to Godwin Obaseki of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. In an Independence Day message signed by Izeyamo, he said many of his supporters have sought to know his next line of action since the election results were announced. He added that his party was collating facts and would soon speak authoritatively in the best tradition of the rule of law, fairness to all and due process. Obaseki defeated Izeyamo with 84,336 votes to win re-election as Edo governor. Meanwhile, both President Muhammadu Buhari and the APC have congratulated the governor, describing the peaceful conduct of the election as a victory for Nigeria's democracy. All unity schools in Nigeria are to resume for academic activities with effect from October 12. The Minister of Education, Adamu, made the announcement during a press briefing in Abuja on Friday. Adamu explained that the decision followed wide consultations with stakeholders in the education sector. According to the minister, both government and private-owned schools across the country are at liberty to fix resumption dates and ensure adequate safety measures. The federal government ordered the closure of all 104 unity schools in March in the wake of the COVID-19 outbreak in Nigeria. And the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, SSANU, and the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, have declared a warning strike that will commence next Monday, October 5, and last 14 days across public universities nationwide. This was just as the federal government announced the reopening of all schools, including universities, 6 months after their closure due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Addressing journalists shortly after the joint congress held at Lagos, the chairman of SSANU and NASU of UNILAG branch, Olushola Shomumi and Kehinde Ajibade, respectively, said the strike is a directive from the national leadership of the two unions to all their branch nationwide. They said they took the decision to press home their demands on contentious issues from the federal government. Nigeria is witnessing an increase in girls' enrollment and retention in school. President Muhammadu Buhari made this declaration at a United Nations high-level meeting commemorating the 25th anniversary of the 4th World Conference on Women on Thursday. In a video message to the virtual meeting convened by the President of the UN General Assembly 75th Session, Volkan Bozkır, President Buhari attributed the success to the implementation of the Universal Basic Education Program, Girl Education Project, and Safe School initiatives. The President noted with satisfaction that through the Safe School programs, his administration had ensured improved security through the provision of necessary learning materials for educational institutions. And on combating gender-based violence, the Nigerian President said that awareness on a sex offenders register was ongoing to discourage and better manage cases of violence against women. And a comic book titled Girls Can Fly has been launched in honor of late flying officer Tolulokpe Arotile. Arotile, who is Nigeria's first ever female combat helicopter pilot, died in an accident on July 14, 2020 in Kaduna State at the age of 24. The Heroes comic series was launched earlier today by the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, at an event organized by the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development in partnership with the Choose Life Foundation. The comic book for children between ages 3 and 13 is written to serve as a source of encouragement to young Nigerians to make choices that will benefit them and their nation. And moving on now to security matters, no fewer than 869 insurgents have been killed, while 321 kidnapped victims were rescued by troops in frontline operations in the last 3 months. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, disclosed this during a press briefing in Abuja earlier today. Enenche described the success as an indication that the armed forces of Nigeria is winning the war against the enemies of the country.
The armed forces of Nigeria, from 1st of July to 30th September 2020, neutralized 869 criminal elements and rescued 321 kidnapped victims across the country. Furthermore, a cumulative total of 9,040,200 liters of stolen automotive gas oil and 33,500 liters of double-purpose kerosene were recovered. This is in addition to 1,708 arrests that were made, as well as recovery of large patch of arms and ammunition. A cumulative of 37,117 barrels of stolen crude oil was recovered across the zones that conducted operations in the southern part of the country. Furthermore, 914,770 liters of stolen PMS was cumulatively recovered. From our operations within the third quarter of this year, it is obvious that the armed forces of Nigeria is winning the war against the enemies of our great nation. Consequently, the armed forces of Nigeria will remain resolute and highly committed to this cause. It will sustain the offensive and will not relent until peace is restored to every troubled zone of Nigeria.
The Ekiti State Police Command has raised an alarm that some bandits are planning to invade the state. The State Commissioner of Police, Babatunde Mobayo, said this in a statement, adding that the command gathered intelligence reports that the bandits would pose as law-abiding citizens before launching attacks on their host communities after settling down. Mobayo added that the armed hoodlums have concluded plans to start entering the state in batches. He, however, urged residents not to panic, advising them to be vigilant and mindful of whom they accommodate. Now, less than 24 hours after they were dispersed by men of Lagos State Police Command, members of the Congress of Oduduwa descendants have again staged another peaceful march in the state. The group reiterates calls for a united Nigeria, saying the nation tends to achieve a lot more when all religious and ethnic sentiments are cast aside. They also laud President Muhammadu Buhari's administration for the incredible feat it has achieved since it came into power in 2015.
The basis for which we are here today is just to come out peacefully to rally around this government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and to tell the government that we are in support of one Nigeria. Nigeria is indivisible. That those elements that are drumming war, that are drumming for war, that they want to be out of Nigeria, to note that it is only on their selfish agenda. That of course that the mass majority of the Yorubas, of course, which cumulated to the Oodua Republic, that which they are claiming to want to have, are in support of a one Nigeria. United we stand, divided we fall. We believe that the president is doing his best at this time to make sure that life is meaningful for all of us in Nigeria.
This occasion of our 60th anniversary celebration presents the perfect opportunity for us to consolidate on the unity of purpose and diversity of strength of our dear country, for we are better together than divided.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibadan Zonal Headquarters, have arrested 10 suspected internet fraudsters. The suspects were arrested in their hideout at Ajinde Road 4 off Akala Expressway, Ibadan, in the early hours of Friday by the officials of the Commission. According to the EFCC head of media and publicity in the state, Wilson Uwujaren, the arrest followed credible intelligence and many weeks of surveillance on the location. Uwujaren says the suspects would be charged to court as soon as investigations are completed. And in a similar development, no fewer than 22 persons have been arrested by the Rivers State Police Command in connection with the killing of a policeman in Oyigbo local government area of the state, attached to the Special Anti-Robbery Squad in Port Harcourt, the state capital. The State Police Public Relations Officer Nnamdi Omoni added that order had been restored in Oyigbo community following the attack by some faceless hoodlums who killed a cop, burnt a police post and a vehicle. Omoni noted that the State's Commissioner of Police, Joseph Mokan, had ordered an investigation into the incident, adding that security had been beefed up in the area to restore peace and order. Well, let's take a break here, but still to come, over 3,000 artisans and transporters to benefit from the federal government survival fund. Details after this break.
Cut. All right. What's your name again? Kemi?
Yes, sir.
Good. Are you ready for us for next week?
Yes, sir.
Next.
No, sir. No.
What? Look, what we need here is one who can speak fluent English. Give her a chance.
I need a angel to hold me. Hold me, my beautiful angel.
Cut! It is Angel, not Angel. Please, I'm done with you. Excuse us. Kemi was far better.
It's not about our rendition. It's not about our performance here. By the time she and her friends join us in our hotel rooms, you will know how far.
Can I have her phone?
She has a robust profile.
Real robust profile. I do not undercut professional ethics. It is an act of corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
On TV360, we don't just ask the questions. What is wrong with amending the Constitution the way the National Assembly members have been doing it? We seek answers.
Constitution is constituent.
Our problem is not lack of laws. Our problem is lack of the willpower to implement our laws.
Answers that provide clarity.
While we negotiate, we should try to make it a point that the girls must be complete.
The clarity you need to make informed judgment so that you can make the right decision and take action. People are saying it is you politicians that are responsible for this, that you are the reason why this is happening.
All these dollars that call themselves governors in this country?
I wish we had people like Tony at the National Assembly.
God forbid that I go to join that ballot.
TV360, providing clarity to issues.
In the last 3 years, we have built a multi-purpose center, which is the envy of all in our constituency. And I can tell you that the people who are living there are already enjoying it.
Guy, do you think what this man just said is true? See, I seriously doubt. I'm sure it's one of those their silly lies.
Wait, do you know there's a way to find out if these things he's saying is true or not? This is the Construct app. It gives people like us a sure way to track implementation of constituency projects. It gives valid and verified information on location of projects, amounts allocated, amount funded, the level of job done, and even the profiles of concerned legislators. You and I can post directly on this app.
Are you serious?
This is the Go-To app if you want to know how our Commonwealth is being expanded by the government.
Wow. Let's even see if what this man said is true. Show me.
The Construct app is developed by Other People Nigeria with support from USAID and is available on both Google Play Store and Apple Store.
And it's true.
Of course, I told you.
Glad to have you back. Now, here is a quick reminder of some of our top stories tonight. The Court of Appeal has upheld the election of Doye Diri as the governor of Bayelsa State. A 5-man panel of the court threw out the ruling of the Bayelsa State Gubernatorial Petition Tribunal, which sacked Diri over a petition by the Advanced Nigeria Democratic Party, ANDP, that it was unlawfully excluded from participating in the poll. But in its ruling, the appellate court held that the tribunal acted out of its jurisdiction in nullifying the election. The federal government has directed that all schools should be reopened and must adhere to the guidelines for reopening of schools. Minister of Education Adamu made the announcement during a press briefing in Abuja on Friday. He advised all institutions to obey and adhere to the guidelines for the reopening of schools earlier announced by the Presidential Task Force on Covid-19. Schools across the country were closed in March as part of efforts to curb the spread of Covid-19. And no fewer than 869 insurgents have been killed, while 321 kidnapped victims were rescued by troops in frontline operations in the last 3 months. The coordinator of Defense Media Operations, Major General John Enenche, disclosed this during a press briefing in Abuja earlier today. Enenche described the success as an indication that the armed forces of Nigeria is winning the war against the enemies of the country.
Shegun. Alpha, say tomorrow still day on.
What's your tomorrow?
Community meeting now.
You know they here, Abi?
Now beg you. See, if we meet for my house, inside parlor, then go no.
This Kovid19 is not a child's play.
If we want to elect a new secretary, we fit to
do one for WhatsApp, or for Skype, or even on Zoom. Or we just wait.
I will not negotiate.
This social distancing, it is not negotiable.
Not every infected person shows symptoms, but every infected person is contagious. Avoid large gatherings and self-isolate if you think you might have come in contact with a carrier. Your safety and the safety of others is in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur.
Let's now turn our attention to the COVID-19 pandemic. The total number of coronavirus infections in Nigeria rose to 59,001 after 153 new cases were recorded on Thursday. The 153 cases were reported from 14 states, with Lagos leading the pack with 81 cases. Rivers followed with 27 infections and the FCT with 11. According to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control (NCDC's tally, 50,452 infected persons have recovered and have been discharged across the 36 states of the Federation. However, the death toll from the virus remains 1,112. And health experts in Nigeria have lauded the development of the country's COVID-19 test kit. Minister of State for Health, Olorunimbe Mamora, had announced the development of the kit earlier in the week, saying it would produce results within 40 minutes. Reacting to this, medical expert Japhet Olugbogi, however, emphasized that the originality of the kit should be certified by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC.
At the beginning, the federal government and the PTF was reluctant as to using other methods of COVID-19 testing apart from the polymerase chain reaction technique that we are using. And that's because we want to ensure that the process is fail-safe. We want to ensure that there's no false positive results flying around, there's no false negative results flying around. That's why that polymerase chain reaction test was adhered to. But now that the burden of the virus has gone down, it can actually employ some other test kits, like rapid test kits. But we should ensure that these test kits are certified by the NCDC as being the original, as being the ones to be used. And we ensure that private laboratories do not abuse this opportunity to bring in all sorts of test kits and then give us false negative or false positive results.
U.S. President Donald Trump and his wife Melania have tested positive for the coronavirus. Days after one of the president's closest advisors who was also infected traveled with him aboard Air Force One. Trump made the announcement in a tweet on his official Twitter handle early on Friday morning, saying he and his wife would begin their quarantine and recovery process immediately. However, Trump's youngest son, Barron, Vice President Mike Pence, and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo have all tested negative to the virus. President Trump has often downplayed the severity of the virus, which has killed more than 207,000 people in the U.S., with more than 7.3 million infections. Well, let's take another break here and return with business stories. Don't go away. Welcome back. The federal government has formally inaugurated the Artisans and Transport Sector track of the 75 billion naira MSME Survival Fund and guaranteed offtake stimulus scheme. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Miriam Katagum, who flagged off the scheme in Abuja, said 9,009 beneficiaries each from the 36 states of the Federation would benefit from the scheme. She said it would leverage duly registered and recognized associations so that members of the bodies would attest to the transparency and effectiveness of the exercise. And the federal government has vowed to complete the $1.6 billion Lagos-Ibadan Railway project in December this year or early January 2021. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, who disclosed this during a live television interview, said it would work with the Minister of Works for Housing, Babatunde Fashola, as well as that of the Lagos State Government to move heavy-duty trucks away from the roads. Amechi insisted that Nigerian roads would not last without the construction and usage of functional rail lines, which will serve as an alternative to move cargoes. Amechi added that transfer of cargoes to rail would start majorly with Lagos-Ibadan rail line, adding that the line should be completed this December or early January next year. Well, let's take a pause here and return with stock market review.
Corruption not in my country.
Hello, Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello? Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we are in Abuja.
Keep quiet. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you are raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Activities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended the week bullish today after all-share index closed at 0.57% higher. Market capitalization of all listed equities, which opened the week at 13.9 trillion naira, also closed today at 14.105 trillion naira. This uptick was impacted by gains recorded in blue-chip stocks on the nation's bourse, which include Dangote Cement, MTN Nigeria, as well as Guarantee Trust Bank and Dangote Sugar. And volume of shares in summary today, 459.7 million units of shares worth 4.3 billion naira exchange hands in 4,553 deals. But on the laggards table, we say that UACN led the percentage laggards with a 90 kobo decline, followed by Flour Mill with a 60 kobo reduction in the value of its share price. It is followed by EcoBank Transnational and FCMB, also recording 10 kobo decline in the value of its share price. Moving on now to the foreign scene. We see that UK markets closed in the greens today, up by 0.15%. Conversely, on the US stocks, we see Dow Jones down in the red 0.43%, while Nikkei also followed like the United States markets, closing in the reds after recording 0.67 decline in the all-share index. Moving on now to the foreign scene, Sri Lanka's health ministry has revealed that 70 persons have died and over 6,000 others infected with rat fever so far this year. According to official statistics, 6,096 patients were infected with rat fever as of September. A total of 6,021 patients were reported across the country, and the most vulnerable were farmers, drain workers, canal cleaners, and persons who swam and played in contaminated water. According to medical officers, the symptoms for rat fever include chills, conjunctival suffocation, muscle tenderness, headache, and a decrease in passing urine. The ministry, however, advised those suffering from the symptoms to seek medical treatment immediately. And in sports, former Chelsea centre forward Didier Drogba has revealed his joy after he received the 2020 UEFA President's Award. The 42-year-old was recognized for his services to humanity and transforming lives through his foundation. He was presented with the accolade in Geneva during Thursday's Champions League draw. The ex-Ivory Coast international expressed his delight after he was honored, saying he was proud of the man he had become. Drogba enjoyed success during his time at Stamford Bridge, winning a number of titles, including the Champions League, and is the first African to receive the award, and believes it will inspire other Africans to attain similar feats in future. And with that, we've come to the end of News Now at this time. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Uni Adekunle. Bye for now.